Hi everyone, this is your Young People's Love Tap video, part 2 of Bad Families, Bad Parents. If you did not watch my first video on bad parents, bad families, go back and watch that. Because where we're going to pick up in this video is more tips and information and ways to deal with that weren't covered in the first video. But you want to look at the first video. So just to recap, this is not your fault. I don't care what happened. You're the young person, not the parent, and it's not your fault. All that stuff was covered in the first video. In this video, I want to talk to you about your emotions and things that will help you move past this so you're not carrying around baggage for the rest of your life. You don't necessarily have to unpack it, but things that you need to be aware of. Number one, if you've had a bad family or no family or bad parent or bad parents in anything, in any of those situations, that can leave you feeling angry. And quite frankly, it probably you should be feeling angry, among other things. You could feel sad, you could feel resentful, you could feel like the victim, or all kinds of things. That's helpful and powerful because you want to identify your emotions. You want to pinpoint what they are so you can deal with them. But there's some other impacts if you grew up with no family at all, or a bad family or bad parent or parents. And those things include low self-esteem, feeling like you're not good enough. Sometimes it involves self-harm or really bad habits and practices, which of course would be reasonable because you either didn't have a role model or you had a bad role model. These are all things that you're not stuck to the past, and you're not stuck to a future given by the fact that you didn't have the greatest family life. But you don't need to be embarrassed about it, and you don't need to hide it. So let me give you a couple tips that I hope will be helpful to you. Number one, if you've got to identify your emotions and then deal with them, in particular anger, which is reasonable. Anger sometimes goes kind of like, it's like stealth. It doesn't get identified because people feel like, oh, I shouldn't be angry. Anger can be a healthy emotion, but you need to identify it, and you need to make sure you're not directing your anger inward to hurt yourself, or in a passive-aggressive way outward to hurt yourself or to hurt other people. And you need to really process. You need to figure out, is it just sadness? Is this contributing to you feeling depressed? And you really need to kind of sort it out and then learn the skills of dealing with your emotions. Now, if you do that and you realize, wow, it's no wonder I feel like I'm not good enough, or it's no wonder I feel like nobody loves me or nobody likes me. Like if you had a family like that, that might leave you with low self-esteem, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy. That's not true. You're worthy, you're good enough, but this is where you want to go to work. So in the process of this, in our little deeper dive here, I want you to take on forgiveness. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the people who weren't good to you, who weren't loving to you, who might have been, really bad to you. Forgiveness is something that you give yourself. Because let me tell you, it takes more energy and more of your vitality to stay angry and to resent people and hold grudges. You want to be freed up to live life. You want to be freed up to be happy. You want to be empowered and living your delicious life. So forgiveness needs to go on your list, and forgiveness is a process. That's a whole process. That's a whole topic. But I want you to learn to forgive, because that's a gift for you, really completely unrelated to the other people. I've already covered in the other video, this is extremely common. It's just that we don't talk about it. So if your parents weren't great, or you didn't have them, they probably don't have any emotional skills. So they probably did the best they could do, even if it was really, really bad. So you want to keep that in mind. And just because you had a family that might have been dysfunctional or not great, or parents or no family, whatever, that doesn't give you your future. You get to choose your future. You get to give yourself the skills. You get to learn the habits. You get to grow and develop so that you're not repeating the past because you want to break the cycle. If you had bad family, bad parents, or no family, you want to break that cycle. And the way to break the cycle is with yourself, learning, growing, and developing. All right, go back to the first video where I have a whole bunch of steps. We're going to add on processing any anger. You might have to look for it, resentments, all that stuff, and forgiveness. And please, 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 this is just nothing we talk about in life, or generally speaking, we don't talk about this. I want you freed up. I want you to have a great life. So let's deal with what's going on with you, because that's what's going to give you a great life. Please let me know how I can help you, because I care and I know you can do this. Take care.